Today we want to focus a bit more on the safety of exercise. Now, I'm a believer that regular exercise should be a daily activity for all of America. I want you to aggressively pursue your exercise, but there is a bit of a caveat that develops around severe exercise that we need to be aware of. The older you are and the more you're planning to push yourself to your maximal and best effort, the more you need to be aware and safe from a medical perspective. Now again, the foundation of the Bolder Boulder, the foundation of fitness training is every day doing something. The safest part of exercise is frequency, meaning that all of us ought to be thinking of a calorie-burning exercise every day. The next point is duration, meaning the longer we exercise, the better in most cases. And then the third component is intensity, how hard we work out. And this is where potential dangers come in if you're not ready for it. Meaning the less your background in fitness, the less your experience with exercise, the more you need to approach intensity slowly. Especially those of you who used to be athletes and are now recovering that desire once again. Don't think you've got to go back into your track training program or your high school basketball training program, but realize that you need to gradually move into that. That's not only safe for your musculoskeletal system, your bones, joints, and tendons and muscles, but it's also safer for your cardiovascular system. And then we move to this severe intensity that we all will probably have as we cross the finish line. Now, once we get over 40, though, those of you like me who are trying for personal bests and are trying to push themselves to absolute maximum, I'm very fond of your efforts in that regard, but sometimes we need to realize that when you push yourself to absolute maximum, you're doing it for some other reason than your health. Much of the data that's been surfacing as we have surveyed the world's literature with the computerized databases these days show that severe exercise over 40, again, is not necessarily the healthiest thing for you. Exercise over 40 is mandatory for everyone through every day of their life. But to push yourself to absolute highest levels is one that you need to approach with a little bit of trepidation. And certainly I give that admonishment to me as well. I need to approach that with a better cardiovascular evaluation. So if you're interested in starting exercise over 40, a good medical evaluation is important. Certainly blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, blood sugar, the usual things. But many of you may want to go further into some very low-cost cardiovascular analyses that are now available everywhere. Every hospital, even for sometimes less than $100 a person, can give you a coronary calcium score or a carotid imaging package that look for early plaque. And generally the athlete that gets into trouble over 40 is unaware of his cardiovascular status or her cardiovascular status with regard to plaque. And sometimes just knowing that you ought to be taking an aspirin a day or that you need the protection of either blood pressure or cholesterol medication can make your physical fitness experience much more pleasant and much more safe. So I don't want you to fear exercise at all, but I do want you to realize that in the effort to cross that finish line with your last gasp of breath, which we all want to do in achieving our best time, that we need to be more aware of that process. Now, it has been shown that good medical evaluation in advance of this process is helpful, and then a diet that's very robust in terms of heart-healthy foods, especially ones that are full of antioxidants and micronutrients that are very helpful. And even in the older athlete, permeating your system with an excellent supplement that supports your antioxidant care would be appropriate as well. So again, don't fear exercise, but as you approach it intensity, be aware that not only musculoskeletal issues are important, as you may pull muscles or strain muscles, but your heart needs to be ready for that severe exercise, and there are certain steps that you need to take the older you are to accomplish that goal.